Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today I am looking at some of the DC movies that are coming up. There's quite a few that we have to look forward to. I did a video a little while back where I talked about all of the DC movies that are in production or are being looked at being made in one way or another. Right now there's over 20 of those, but of the ones we know for sure are going to be coming out, we've got 5 or 6 of those we can look at. So some of the ones I wanted to focus on are the ones that are coming up next, like Joker, for instance. So Joker looks actually kind of good to me. I'm really intrigued. It's funny and really kind of surprising to me because I was not really looking forward to this, actually. We've been through a couple Jokers just, relatively recently with Heath Ledger and then Jared Leto, and now Joaquin Phoenix. I was like, another Joker? And I can't tell if he's in a different universe from the main DCEU and all that. However, once I actually saw the trailer, once the trailer came out recently and I watched it, I actually am kind of impressed. It's kind of clear they didn't have a big budget. It doesn't look like they spent a lot of money on it. However, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. Comic book movies I've seen tend to have very big budgets. And this is kind of like, well, we got Joaquin Phoenix, let's just let him act crazy and we'll film it. I don't know if that was the premise behind it or not, but I actually think there's a lot more to it than that. Just going off of his performance, what I saw in that trailer, I was actually really impressed. Like, he's trying to live up to Heath Ledger's legacy and maybe establish something beyond that, because he was putting everything into this role. I mean, I know he's a good actor, but he was not holding back. I don't know if he's doing character acting or what, but he has really got a lot of raw emotion and just feeling behind his performance, and I got all that just from the trailer. So, I don't know, that really intrigues me to see. It's just gonna be a performance-driven movie. I don't know if there's a lot more carrying it. I hope the script is good. I'm sure they've made a pretty complex story for the Joker and how he becomes who he is through basically tragedy and suffering and insanity. So it's looking like an R-rated movie, so I don't know. It's going to be a little dark probably, for sure, but at the same time it might be kind of tragic and poetic and sympathy for the Joker kind of a movie. So I'm really intrigued, and I'll have to keep an eye on it to see more trailers and whatnot before it comes out. So we've also got Birds of Prey coming up pretty soon, actually. Ought to be really soon. And that one's looking pretty good. It's another one of those, though. I mean, we're just going off of pictures and stuff. We haven't had a real trailer yet, but that's another one that looks a little bit on the low budget side, which might be DC's angle now. If you put $100 million or less into your comic book movie, like they did with Shazam, for instance, you can pull in, $250, $300 or more million and make a really good profit. So, what if you make a Joker movie? I don't know how much it costs, but honestly, it looks like it costs about $50 million. Birds of Prey, I mean, that could be like $50 million to $100 million tops. I don't know how much of that they threw at Margaret Robbie, but it definitely didn't go into the costumes and stuff. So I don't know if they're just going for the low budget to make a big profit thing or what. But that, all that being said, the low budget thing doesn't really hurt a street level movie like Joker or Birds of Prey. And it would hurt a movie like Aquaman or Shazam, I think, if they cut the special effects budget too much. A movie like Birds of Prey isn't going to have to rely on special effects too much, and other than Margaret herself, they probably didn't have to pay too much for most of the actors. I mean, there's no Will Smith type person that they had to drop $20 million or more on like they did with Suicide Squad. So as far as how it looks, I just haven't seen enough of it yet to really know. I hope it's good. I'm definitely going to watch it when it comes out, but this one I'm kind of just holding on for a trailer to really form a strong opinion. Another one that we definitely know is coming out is Wonder Woman 84, or WW84. We know this one's coming out because it's done, it's finished, it's been finished for a while. It was actually slotted to come out this year, but they pushed it back. I'm not sure why. I assume just to give Shazam time to have his own space or whatever. But yeah, this movie's done, and I think it's going to be great. In fact, I know it's going to be great. Like, I would bet money on it just because The first Wonder Woman is my favorite DCEU movie, I'd say still, even after Shazam came out. I really liked that movie. It's really solid, and Patty Jenkins is just a good director, and she's back again doing another movie. All of the promotional material and, so-called leaked pictures and things I've seen from the set, everything about it looks really good. So, and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, so it's going to be a good movie. And it had the money behind it. The first Wonder Woman movie pulled in like $800 million. Seriously, so they had no problem giving them all the money they needed to make this movie. And I feel like DC's really confident that it's going to do well in the box office, and that's kind of why they're holding it back, just because they're not worried. Like, they can drop it when they need it. So of all the ones that are coming out, I think Wonder Woman 84 is the guaranteed hit and the one I want to watch the most. Now, the other one that's a guaranteed hit and will probably blow away WW84 and all these others is Aquaman 2. So we know we're getting an Aquaman sequel pretty much right after the opening weekend when, Aquaman did so well and started bringing in hundreds of millions and eventually over $1 billion. They knew they were going to make a sequel. Not sure when that's going to be. I don't think it's been announced necessarily, but we're definitely getting a sequel to Aquaman. So that's going to be probably the next big blockbuster movie, and the one I assume most people are looking forward to. We do know that there's going to be, of course, Shazam sequel. The Shazam movie didn't do nearly as well as Aquaman did, but well enough that we know there's going to be a sequel. So there's quite a few other movies coming down the line, tons and tons of movies. It just depends on whether they actually make most of them, and I think that really hinges on how well these movies do. So, like they always say, if you go to the movies and support it, you'll get more of that same content. So, I don't know. So far, pretty much all of the DC movies have made a profit. It's just whether they've made enough money to make up what they spent to make it. And it seems like DC's really learned from that, because like Batman v Superman, they spent so much money, like, I don't even know, well over $300 million. They just poured money into that movie, and I think it was a lot more than that, honestly, because even though it took in over $800 million, it wasn't enough to be considered a real blockbuster hit, which is just mind-blowing. So you got some of these other properties like the Joker, you hire Joaquin Phoenix, you buy some old like suits at a thrift store and put some clown paint on him, you're going to make a lot of money off that movie. So I'm just confident, well, I'm not confident, but I'm really hopeful that it's going to be good despite the low budget because of Joaquin Phoenix's performance. And from everything I saw, he's given 110%. Like, honestly, after WW84, I'm thinking Joker is the one I'm looking the most forward to, which I wasn't really looking forward to it at all until I saw the trailer. So I think that really speaks to just how good he performed. And, it's hard, though, to know just off of a trailer how good a movie is going to be. I mean, the trailers always look great. Suicide Squad, for instance. Oh, that's another movie we can talk about. Suicide Squad. It's not Suicide Squad 2. It's just Suicide Squad. So it is a reboot. It's been confirmed. They're redoing the Suicide Squad, which didn't take very long at all, did it? Which is a little crazy since the last one took in well over $700 million. That one actually made a boatload of money despite having reshoots and having to pay Will Smith, but they don't have to worry about paying Will Smith this time. They got a different actor, Idris Elba, so it's going to be really interesting. Honestly, he's a better actor, so I think it'll be good. But it's going to be kind of crazy because they are doing it, a total reboot. So we got some of the same actors, Jai Courtney's back, Margaret Robbie's back. I'm not sure who all is going to be back, but there's some new people too. And a lot of the characters they're bringing up are really strange or kind of obscure. Like, I think Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher. And they did a gender swap on him, so it's a female Ratcatcher. And I'm just like, why? DC has so many properties and so many characters. I mean, you could do a Suicide Squad that had, and they've done this. I've read it. It's actually a Gail Simone comic, but they had a Suicide Squad with like Black Manta and Deathstroke and Deadshot and Cyborg Superman and eventually Lex Luthor. And he was the Kingdom Come Lex Luthor, so I don't know. It was a pretty wild story. That was the Convergence tie-in, the Suicide Squad Convergence tie-in. It's really good if you've never read it. People always hate Gail Simone, but this is a pretty good story because it's the super OP Suicide Squad and they have to fight the Kingdom Come Justice League, so pretty hardcore. You wouldn't think even a really strong Suicide Squad would be up for the task, but they have the Kingdom Come Lex Luthor helping them and gives them like intel about the Kingdom Come universe and everything. It's really good. It's kind of a drag, those were only 2 shots, but yeah, I actually have I actually reviewed this, so yeah, I'll try and include a link to that in the description box, but I'm going off on tangents all over the place here, so I get when I talk about DC. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And as always, thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.
End of line.